It is 4:40 p.m. and we
It was
will
4 hours for Avery's
redo the roll
baptism.
call.
I didn't party.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Present.
Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Present.
Ms. Burns?
Present.
Ms. Mashat?
Present.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Present.
You have 6 members present.
We have 6 members present. It is now time for the reading of the disorderly persons city code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 31-10, disorderly conduct, assault, and battery in disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given 1 warning. If they persist in disrupting the meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Are there any requests for agenda changes and/or additions? Seeing as how there are no requests for agenda changes and/or additions, it is now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the city council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box was placed at the entrance to the council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips will be accepted after the meeting begins. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only 1 speaking opportunity per speaker. First public speaker, Madam Clerk.
First speaker is R.L. Mitchell.
Hello, I'm R.L. Mitchell. Speaking on this situation about people say we don't have an internal affair in Flint, and about dealing with these killer cops. For the record, my house was broke in 2 days ago by a field mouse, because that's the only way I figured, because he put this in front of my study, and he woke me up. A field mouse was like a packing rat. I thought somebody was in my house because they wanted me to. Somebody passed through you to the attorney. Pass this to the attorney and pass it around to make sure Miss the 6th Ward get it, because she know how to. Anyway, I was 2020. My friend and I was at the coffee place, and all of a sudden she got a phone call. Went to Grand Blanc, and then next thing you know, she was announced missing. Killed in action. These things came up. Her name was Robin McNeil, and I think I know where Chief Green don't show up because he's negotiating with them Grand Blanc cops, just like they doing in Milwaukee. We was the first one dealing with these vigilante cops, but nobody. A little field mouse had to wake me up. It had to be a mouse, and like I say, pass it to the secretary and back. And like I say, about this, because I was attacked on Saginaw Street. I didn't know, while coming home from church at the same time this happened, a cop pulled a gun on me and told me to get in the car. I was walking for 8 miles from the church out in Burton. And then that's when, and all this stuff, and the guy had a gun. He could have shot me. He woke me up when that little kid over across the street, a boxer, kidnapped the dude, put him in jail for 3 days, and I'm going around like nothing ain't happened. I thought about that the other night when they come in here talking that drunk and nobody, bitching, Angelique cops, spraying people's in, and then the 6th Ward council lady missing in now, Ward, Big Moose missing in this, McCandy Mashak, maybe they're together somewhere. I don't know what she talking. Just like this bill. Will somebody come and get this for you? Yeah, like I say, these killing, they got to be dealt with. You got to bring that cop. I want to know if that cop still living this. He ain't on the street. They be killing people like it ain't nothing. I just took a good look at this and all this stuff, and with that field mouse, worrying about, it had to be on my, anyway, stay tuned, New York. We're still dealing with these vigilantes, ISIS and Flint.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The final speaker for this meeting is Tanya Jones.
Good evening, my name is Tanya Jones. I'm here advocating for my son and the homeless population. I just want to say, you guys, keep on coming. I feel like it's a waste of time anyway, because I be feeling like Neely got his votes and it's gonna go how it wants to go. But I just want to keep saying, everybody make sure to get out and vote this November. I don't want to say who to vote for, just make sure you educate yourself on voting, because the only change we're going to be able to make is by getting out here and vote. And I want to say, like with the opioid crisis, my son, I'm dealing with it every day. It's not easy. It's a journey. I'm very open with it because other parents need to know this is real. And it's the grace of God. You got to know, keep the faith in God and let him guide you. I want my son to know that I love him. You know, I don't know what tomorrow might bring, but I know I'm going to be here by his side through it. And I want to be grateful that with this council, it brought me I felt like my life was real comfortable. But having a child that's part of the opioid crisis, it really opened my eyes up to what's really going on and watching the people, the homeless population, because these people matter. So I just want to tell everybody, you know, number one, Candace Machette. Back to you. I really want to get on you because you want to run for different seats. But my son is here, and you told me I didn't see me in church, and that's why you didn't know me. But I allow my kids to make they're grown, selectively grown. I let them make a decision to go to church. So my thing is, you're concerned about him. You know, I feel like you should reach out to him. I mean, he looked up to you. And I told him, just before we walked up here, he said, Mama, you warned me. You know what I'm saying? Because they church people don't mean they right people. Just like my father, Hubert Roberts, the Black Lives Matter. I'm out here fighting this fight. He ain't never contacted me one time and say, baby, look, daughter, can I help you? No. But he out here advocating for, he's a pillar to the community, bacon and all this other stuff, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I do need some help. I'm thankful for Tanya Burns. I'm thankful for the people who have reached out. Even LaShonda reached out. You know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised the people who reach out during your hard times. So when it comes to this church stuff or whatever, and this politics or whatever, this is a crazy world. But I love you guys, and thank you for giving me this opportunity, and thank my son for opening my eyes up to what's going on. Have a good night.
That was the final public speaker. It is now time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers, only after all public speakers have spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone who wishes to speak during council response? Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to the speakers and Tanya Jones. You advocating for your child and being open is a great thing because it affects many of us, and many people hide in shame about it, and you are bringing awareness. And the homeless population is much bigger than we know because this place as you've been, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And they're living all the way around all of us in this city. They are. Ariel, thank you for sharing this. I hadn't heard of this. I had not, so thank you for sharing. But through you, Madam Chair, to the city clerk, during this time, I would like to, because I did receive an email, I would like to, like a referral, I would like to know what is the golf courses, Kersley Lake and Swartz Creek. We need to know what's going on with that contract, the 50-50 split. Where is it at? Is there a contract that went out for bid for 2026? Who did it go to? And we need to know why are we paying $72,000 for a golf course when there is, I got a call even today with a gentleman who applied, who wanted to pay $1.25 million. And have we received any funds from this contract for 22, 23, 24, 25, and coming up for 26? Because that contract did not come and be approved through Flint City Council. It did not come here. It is just underneath that $75,000 threshold. It has not come here, so I would like a referral to find out the financials, which in that email stated they have refused to give the financials 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. And so we need to deal with that. So I'm sending a referral. If you can give that to the city attorney, please, and thank you. And I yield the floor.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response? Seeing as how there's no one else who wishes to speak during council response, we'll move on to the consent agenda. What is the pleasure of the body? We'll go ahead and separate this one item. Now that this item is separated, what is the pleasure of the body? Leave it here. Leave it here.
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the Sixth Ward.
I'd like to put a motion on the floor to leave this here, to leave Resolution 250414, Code Amendment, Ordinance Chapter 35, Personal Article V, Working Conditions, here in Special Affairs. God bless you.
Thank you.
Here in Special Affairs.
There is a motion on the floor to leave Resolution 250414-T in Special Affairs. Is there support? I will, go ahead. Moved and properly supported by the Councilwoman in the Fifth Ward. This is the roll call vote.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
No.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
The vote is 5 yes, 1 no.
The vote is 5 yes, 1 no. Ordinance 250414 stays in Special Affairs.
Madam Chair, motion to adjourn.
There's been a motion to adjourn by the Councilwoman in the Sixth Ward. Is there support?
Support.
Moved and properly supported by the Councilwoman in the Fourth Ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Mr. Alamin is not in. The vote is 6 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no. It is now 4:52 p.m. Monday, January 26th. This Special Affairs Committee meeting is adjourned.
Hippie, who is planning and development. I have a meeting set up with MDARD to make these complaints because some of these grocery stores haven't been inspected since COVID. The first step is getting the building inspected because we can't have a health inspector come in until after that. That's what I'm told. Like I said, I'm still learning, you know. I was asked to actually go into some of these stores and actually go and talk to the owners, but I'm just me, you know. But I will do it. I'm going to do it, and to get them to make a change. One of the stores actually did make a change from the videos that I have been circulating. They emptied out the entire freezer. They just emptied it out. At least it's only fresh food. That's all I'm asking. I don't want to put these places out of business. I've had workers contact me from these grocery stores, you know, just people who work there, cashiers and things. They're like, you're trying to take my job. I don't want anyone to lose their job. We're in a economic turmoil. You know, I want everybody to have their homes and their jobs and all that stuff. But I'm just concerned about, you know, being someone who has older people in their life and younger people with compromised immune systems. You don't have to be sick. You just have to be too young or over the age of 70 to be a bad piece of chicken or a bad piece of beef has caused the end of your life. You know, that's what I'm concerned with. Yes, the quality and the taste, that's all nice. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be gourmet food. I just want it to be edible. You know, like I said, I want peace. You know, I've done some homework and looked up, you know, how things have gone in the past. I'm ready to do whatever needs to be done. I'll accept any help, Ms. Johnson so far, but I'm probably going to be needing to work with all of you. I appreciate it, and see you next time.
The next speaker is Michael Clack.
Good evening, Council. Michael Clack, Second Ward. To be honest, I don't even like coming down here, and I want to be clear about that. The last time I was here, I received a warning for simply sitting in the chamber wearing a blue shirt and eating trail mix. The time before that, there was an alleged brawl. Coming to City Council should not feel intimidating for residents who simply are trying to be heard. But here I am because the issues facing our city are too important to ignore. I want to address the recent reports of people freezing to death in our city. Last night it was under 10 degrees. In weather like this, being without shelter is a life-threatening emergency. Yet right before the coldest part of the winter, the fire marshal reduced the number of people who are allowed to be in the warming center. When warming centers are restricted during extreme cold, people don't just disappear. They end up in abandoned buildings, cars are outside, and unfortunately, some don't survive. This is the time of year when our most vulnerable residents need more compassion, more empathy, and more support, and not less. Many of these individuals have mental issues, and some have just fallen on hard times. If city resources are strained, this is exactly what state-level assistance should be requested. Emergency funding and shelter support exist for moments like this. It just takes leadership to ask. And if there's $25 million for phantom organizations with no physical address or history with the IRS, then surely there's money somewhere to keep people from freezing to death in the city of Flint. My next concern is economic development. There are multiple corridors across this city that need investment, but today I'll only focus on one, Corona Road, also known as M21. This corridor has significant potential, yet it continues to be overlooked. There have already been multiple offers to purchase the Zimmerman building, which shows that investors see opportunity here. If the city invests in cleaning up that area and paired it with resources and help support the surrounding residents help the surrounding residents to maintain and improve their properties, it would create a major benefit for the entire corridor and for the city as a whole. Because M21 is a state road, it should be prioritized for infrastructure and development funding. With intentional collaboration between the city and state, this corridor could become far more attractive for business, job creation, and long-term growth, not just for outside interests, but for Flint residents as well. Finally, I want to address the $1,000 checks that some residents are receiving for their property. $1,000, for most in the city, felt like that was a slap in the face. At a time when inflation is at an all-time high, $1,000 doesn't seem to go very far. When the water has damaged hot water heaters, furnaces, dishwashers, washing machines, plumbing systems, and fixtures, these are not luxuries, these are necessities. Our lives and homes and dignity are worth more than $1,000. We need leadership that is willing to speak up for the masses and not simply go along to get along. And quite frankly, this city cannot afford 4 more years of non-action from this mayor and 2 more years of silence from my state representative. Thank you. Y'all have a nice day.
The next speaker is M. Young.
Good evening. Just following up on some issues that I brought up over the past couple of weeks. Following up to find out if anyone had an opportunity to speak with any of the people that received ARPA, to bring them here to say what they did, how it helped our community. Just looking for follow-up for each person. I know everybody knows somebody that has a business or what have you that received ARPA. I would like to know how well we did. Also, I would like to know for each ward, 1st through 9, what you guys did with the money you had for your ward and how it has helped your ward. So if we could get that information. I also want to speak again about the election. I want to please make sure that this election is done right and in order. We need to review the processes we have in place and implement new processes to help make sure that this is fair and equitable. Again, I suggest that we change the charter to say if you want to run for office, you must, if you own your home, you must show your homestead taxes. We have a lot of residential problems that everybody is speaking of, and we need to resolve it. It shouldn't go on for years and years. I would also like to know if the portal has been updated with the right information. If the voters' registration has been reviewed for correctness, that we don't have people that have passed away that are still on the road to vote. We need this election to be right and fair. And again, to the people of the city of Flint, the people that are currently running for these new positions in council, mayor, what have you, look around. See if they've been actively involved prior to election season. If you're just now seeing them around, may not be the right person. All elected officials need to be engaged with the public. Help us out. Know what our issues are. Lastly, for Candace Mouchette, Councilwoman in the 8th Ward, 7th, is there any way that you can find out about us getting the interest from the water settlement? Be more vocal. Help us. $1,000 was not enough. Help us out. Get some more money. You can do it.
The next speaker is Rich Jones.
How y'all doing? That was a very good thing that she just said. See if y'all can get that interest geared toward that's real good. Another thing that's been bothering me, I also want to give a salute to everybody in the city of Flint that has been aiding the homeless. There's a lot of efforts going out to give y'all a shout, much obliged for that. But let's just be real. We need to get a building, another building, and furnish it and be prepared next winter for this situation. We really do. Another thing that kind of been on my mind, because I just see a lot of people just doing stuff because they're running for office. And I ain't cool with it, but I understand it. But when this spring comes, let's do a 30-day cleanup. Me and Quincy, we did talk about this before all of the personal and individual and all the trolling and TikTok and stuff came into play. And what that is, because right now, I just talked to LaShawn about boarding up a house. And first thing came from her mouth is it our house? Is it the land bank house? And that's a problem when it comes to a whole lot of dumps. The city say land bank on it, land bank, the city say the city on it, and just look a mess. But my solution is for 30 days, whenever it is garbage day, whatever is on the curve, it get picked up. Because I remember when we had the softball games at Burston, we would go up there and we would clean up after everybody went home. And we would set the garbage bags on the curve. But guess what the garbage truck did on garbage day? Rolled by the garbage bags. And it did that at a lot of homes that are now grass and dirt in the city of Flint. And some of them places, like that house across the street from Bryant School, looked horrible. It's no longer there. But I know y'all remember it was garbage from the curve all the way to the backyard. People just a dumping. So this year, maybe we can all work together. Get your cleanup crews, get it on the curb, work out something with the garbage company, maybe put your our blight department out to pick up some of the curb. But let's clean our city up this summer. And that's also be prepared to help the homeless next winter. Thank you.
The final speaker for this meeting is Tanya Jones.
Good evening, my name is Tanya Jones. I be advocating for the opioid crisis and for homeless. First of all, my son is here. I hadn't seen him since December 23rd. God is good. There's no thanks to the Flint Police Department. I tried to do a missing person report, and Sergeant Walker told me that he's grown. That's a grown man. My son is autistic. He's a part of the opioid crisis, and if he go missing once a week, once a month, once a year, I'm looking for him. I have every right to do that. So I was told by the Flint Police Department that he's a grown man. So I just want to put that on record. But God brought my son home. He's home now. And I want to thank the council because it opened my eyes up to a lot of stuff that was going on in Flint. Right here, Chris is my newfound son, and he's part of the homeless. I found him in Ballinger Building next to Save-A-Lot. And this is my son now, and today is his birthday. God is good. His friend, K. Rich, froze in the building. So I just want to say that he's an awesome young man, and he's worth it. And when I say the opioid crisis, like I tell Leon, why did he take $150,000 when the opioid crisis is real? That $150,000 could have went to the homeless. I mean, I go out here and go feed them 3 days a week with the color of law. And my thing is, these people, these kids matter. I mean, mothers, fathers, all of us need to get together. All these kids need somebody to protect them, need to be a voice. These people go out here talking about churches, churches, churches. My son was a member of Ebenezer. That's why it's personal when it comes to Miss Machette, because she knew my son when he was okay. My thing is, where's family? Where's churches when they come together when somebody fall off? It could be your child, it could be your cousin, it could be your auntie, it could even be you. So that's personal. You on council. So like LaShawn came down and reached down, we done had our difference, but she came down and spoke. You see my son sitting in this audience. So if you really cared about the people, you would acknowledge my son. Because like I said, my son matter, Chris matter. And I'm going out here tonight and tomorrow night. God give me the strength, I'm gonna keep on going. So you guys, be blessed, but the homeless lives matter, and opioid crisis is real. Take care.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you. It is now time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers, only after all public speakers have spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone who'd like to do council response?
I'd like to speak.
Go ahead.
I already told Mr. Chris happy birthday. It's a blessing to turn another year old. And to Rich Jones, I was talking about the boards of who can purchase the boards, if it's the city or if it's the county. But I have been reaching out to different businesses in our areas. We have a major problem over there on Webster, the trailer park. And we have a lot of residents that are complaining about that area over there, and they feel that they're left out. So I have reached out to the businesses on Webster and Dorn Highway, and I'm waiting for them to get back with me so we can see if we can get a massive and we can get some center blocks and block off these areas to stop them from dumping in these trailer parks. Also, I went in there yesterday and I got caught in there by a guy that came in with a truck and a trailer. So it was kind of like terrifying. I was like, hey, I told him exactly who I was. But like I said, job is never done. I'm always looking for a way to make the third ward look better and building up the morale in the city of Flint. And it needs everybody, like you said, we need a 30-day cleanse. And that's for the whole entire city. And if we can get people to donate us dumpsters and different things that they can do in the city, and get the businesses in our city to help and contribute back to the city of Flint, it would be great. But great ideas, and I'm looking forward to working with you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Thank you. I do want to address a couple of different things that were said tonight. I do want to talk about with the freezing temperatures, which you are correct in the fact that I know that the city has designated 2 shelters. The only problem is they only run for a certain amount of time. So we do need to look at doing something long-term overnight, because on Friday and Saturday of this week, we will have negative 11 degrees. And so there will be a lot of people who will find themselves out in that weather. And so I'm hoping that there is something that we can do in the interim while we await figuring out a more long-term solution. But you are correct. I will ask around and ask some questions about if we have any plans for Friday and Saturday night with addressing the negative 11 degree weather. Water settlement interest money, done and done. I will ask, done and done. Another thing I want to address, there are, in addition to people being outside, we've also had some animals that have been left outside as well, some dogs that have unfortunately succumbed to some of the temperatures. We do have several ordinances that address animal cruelty, animal shelter, and what should be done. I do want to remind owners that we do have ordinances in place about dog cruelty. If you do see a dog that is not being properly cared for, if you see a dog that is being neglected and left out in cold temperatures, you can call the Flint Police and they will take it from there, because they can be prosecuted by the city for keeping dogs in inhumane conditions. I do also want to reply to the question about our ARPA money, and if we have people willing to come in. I do, and they are, and they will. I just have to get them scheduled, but they are going to come in and talk about some of the things that they have done with the ARPA money. I only have 8 seconds left, so I'll yield.
Thank you. Anyone else? Go ahead.
Yes,
Go
Madam
ahead.
Chair.
Go ahead.
First, I would like to thank all of the residents for being here, and those of you who have come forth to the podium to talk about your issues and or concerns. I did want to speak on the property portal. Michelle brought that up. As far as, and Madam Chair, through you to Clerk Davina. Clerk Davina, who is responsible for updating that property portal? Because I did go on, I'm on it all the time, but I noticed who's responsible for going out, taking the pictures of the homes and making sure that it's updated?
It's my understanding it's a function of the land bank, the county land bank. It's not a clerk function, I will say that.
Okay.
And that's the property portal, not when you go to the city of Flint property search, that's city business, but that's property portal. It is not a function of my office or anything like that. I believe it's the county.
The City of Flint property portal?
Correct.
Okay. I know at one point, and I'm thinking at one point, didn't the development department, were they responsible for updating and going out and taking the pictures?
So you can do a property search through the City of Flint website. That's different than that property portal.
I'm talking about the property portal, the Flint
Yeah, so I think
property
it's
portal.
changed hands
That's the land bank.
several
Okay.
times, but, yeah, so I
Thank
don't
you.
know for sure.
Thank you. That's your time. Anyone else? Anyone else? I'll take a few minutes here. I'm trying to I did make some notes. In regards to the grocery stores and cleanliness, I think that if you see something, you need to say something and contact the health department. The Genesee County, they're the ones that have the sanitation requirements. Mr. Clack, in regards to economic development, I'm sitting there and I'm reading all these economic development that is happening in Burton, right around the corner from me, and nothing's happening here. My question is why? Why are they doing it in Burton and not here? And I want to see that change, and that's just going to take time. I sit on the city's economic development board, and we get very little information. We get very little inquiries on that. In regards to the water settlement, Ms. Mashat did mention about the interest, but that is all governed by the courts. And we have very little to say and anything to do with it. Is $1,000 enough? No. But it's out of our hands, and I wish I could do something about it. I'm not a part of any court settlement. I'm not going to be getting any money from any of this, so I have no axis to grind in this fight. I'm fighting for the people because they need it. But we have no say. It's all out of the courts in D.C. that do it. Rich, in regards to boarding up houses and things, if I could name 10 addresses off the top of my head that I would love to go in and board up. and they're privately owned, or they're land bank. But we have boarded some land bank, but we didn't spend any money. It was taken from fencing that was on the property to do that, and that house is now gone. So in regards, did my time start? Oh, my time was over, okay. I heard the buzzer, so, okay, that's it. We're now on to the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there support? It's been moved by the councilwoman in 7th Ward, supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward. Are there any separations? Any separations?
Madam Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
I'd like to separate all three.
All three? Okay, we have a full and complete separation. Okay, so our first resolution is 260024, NYE Uniform Company, uniforms for the Flint Police Department. I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I make a motion that we send to council, resolution 260024 to council.
Is there support? There's been made by the councilwoman in the 7th Ward, supported by the councilman in the 1st Ward, to send to council. Is there any discussion?
Madam Chair.
Go ahead.
Through you to those that can speak to this resolution.
Is there anyone who can speak to this resolution? Okay. Go ahead and ask your question as she's coming on down.
I'll let her identify herself. I don't know her. I shouldn't take five whole minutes. Good evening. Could you
Just so you know, my name's Angela Immerman. I'm the Finance and Accounting Supervisor.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Angela. In looking at the resolution, it appears that there is like a 50% increase between what was done in 24 and then in 25. How many, has there been an increase in actual FTE, or are we just replacing?
So for FTE, you mean the full-time officers?
Yeah, the officer count.
We have been recruiting, so I don't know the exact number that they've brought in, but part of it is the new recruits. So the other one, some of the money is to replace some of the other officers' uniforms, but a lot of it has to do with the new recruits.
Yeah, that's what I read, that it was both replacement and new officers. Yeah. So I'm trying to get a feel for, have we been successful? Because that's been a point of conversation, the actual recruitment efforts with the police department, because I'm understanding this is just for the police department, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So that's Ronald Dixon. He's over the actual recruiting of the officers, but I don't know the numbers.
Okay.
Like how many they've.
Is the cost the same for a new officer as it is for a replacement?
Yes.
So how many, are we replacing complete uniforms or just tops, bottoms? How is that?
It could be either. It could be one officer might just need some new tops, or they could need bottoms. It's like they do keep them, like if somebody leaves, they keep the other uniforms. But so we could have a surplus of one size, but need another size, just whoever's recruited. Or because they could be also full-time officers, not the ones that are in the academy. Like we have been bringing in some of those officers.
I know we've gone through the bid process and it was awarded to the lowest bid. Do you have a feel for the cost per item? What does it cost to provide a uniform, a top and a bottom for an officer?
So that doesn't just include the uniforms, like it also is like their belts and their holsters and other things too. So it's between $5,500 and $7,500.
Per officer?
Yeah, for new recruits, like anybody that's new coming in. And it kind of just depends on what they're going to be. Like tactical gear is a little bit more expensive than like a regular uniform, because they would need that on top of their blues.
So it's possible this $100,000 could only impact 15 to 20 officers?
It could, but it usually gets spread out much farther than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And all right. I think that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
yield.
Anyone else? Anyone else in the first round? Anyone else? Anybody in the second round? Okay. This is the vote to send 260024 to council. Thank you.
Mr. Alamin? Yes. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Barnes is not in. Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer is not in. Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Vote is 6 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 6 yes, 0 no. That will be sent to council. Our next resolution is 260025, contract with Michigan State University for the Flint Recast Program Evaluation. I'll entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I make a motion that we send resolution 260025 to council.
There's a motion on the floor to send resolution 260025. Is there a second? It's been seconded by our councilman in the first ward. Is there any discussion? Go ahead.
To those that are here that could speak to this particular resolution?
Come on up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Could you introduce yourself?
I am Michelle Scott. I am the Community Liaison and Program Coordinator for Recast and CVI.
Thank you. We, according to the resolution, we have been awarded this grant and had this grant since 2021.
That's correct.
Okay. And this is basically just a renewal of sorts for the year?
Yes, for the 5-year contract. This is the last year.
And I'm looking at some of the review documents, and they're dated September 2025. Can you help me understand the process that this goes through before it gets to us? I'm really trying to understand why, if this period for the grant is September, we're January seeing it. And this is not exclusive to this grant. This happens often. I'm really trying to get my arms around the process.
The process mainly is preparing the contract, first of all. Although this is the 5th year, it does repeat, but we made the language could change. The attorneys go through it. They look over the contract after it's prepared. Then we gather the documents. That could take a certain amount of time to get that done. The attorneys are, I'm sure, busy with other workload, but at the same time, they are helping us process the documents for the contract. So just gathering that information, and then when it comes up for them to approve it and process it, that's it. It's just paperwork and just waiting for signatures.
So and I guess this might help given what you just shared, the time with the attorneys in contract review, does that only happen after as this one is dated, today's date?
If I can have council members take their seats so we can start this regular meeting.
Going through that process right now. First day I came back, I'm at 70% right now.
It is 5:32 p.m. and I am calling this city council meeting to order in accordance with Section 3-201B of the Flint City Charter regarding the organization of the city council. First thing that we will do is take the roll call. Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Present.
Ms. Priestley?
Present.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Present.
Ms. Burns?
Present.
Ms. Mashat?
Present.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Present.
Mr. Jarrett?
Present.
You have 7 members present. So concerning the organization of the city council shall elect from its members a presiding officer who shall be known as the president of the city council. As always, I will call your name, and you will state the name of the member that you wish to elect as your president. The last meeting where council took a vote was the December 17th, 2025 meeting, where we finished with round 55. We're going to start today with round 56, and we will be starting with Mr. Pfeiffer. Mr. Pfeiffer?
Jerry Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Priestley?
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Jerry Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat?
Candace Mashat.
That's 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 3 votes for Ms. Mashat. Round 57. Mr. Jarrett?
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Alamin is not in. Dr. Lewis is not in. Ms. Johnson?
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Priestley?
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat?
Candace Mashat.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Winfrey Carter.
It's 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 3 votes for Ms. Mashat. Round 58. Mr. Alamin is absent. Dr. Lewis is absent. Ms. Johnson?
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Priestley?
Candace.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat,
Candace Mashat.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett.
Winfrey Carter.
That's 3 votes for Ms. Mashat, 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter. It's round 59. Dr. Lewis is absent. Ms. Johnson,
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Priestley,
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat,
Candace Mashat.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Alamin is absent. 3 votes for Ms. Mashat, 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter. Round 60, Ms. Johnson,
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Priestley,
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat,
Candace Mashat.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Jarrett,
Winfrey Carter.
Mr. Alamin is absent. Dr. Lewis is absent. 3 votes for Ms. Mashat, 4 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter. Round 61, Ms. Priestley,
Candace Mashat.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Burns,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Mashat,
Candace Mashat.
Mr. Pfeiffer,
Pfeiffer.
Mr. Jarrett,
Winfrey Carter.
Ms. Johnson.
Candace Mashat.
That's 3 votes for Ms. Mashat, 3 votes for Ms. Winfrey Carter, 1 vote for Mr. Pfeiffer. Round 60.
Madam Clerk,
Yes,
I'm going to make a motion to table this until the next meeting.
until the next regular meeting.
Yep.
Mr. Pfeiffer has made a motion to table the organization of council to the next regularly scheduled council meeting. Is there support for his motion?
Support. Oh.
Supported by Ms. Mashat. So we will do a roll call. Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Ms. Priestley,
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter,
Yes.
Ms. Burns,
Yes.
Ms. Mashat,
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer.
Yes.
and Mr. Jarrett.
Yes.
That's 7 yes, 0 no. So we will postpone the organization of council until the next regularly scheduled meeting. Thank you.
Is public speaking now?
Yes, I believe so.
Oh, that's right, you got a chair.
Yeah. It is now time for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Winfrey Carter, will you please lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is now time for the prayer of blessing, but before we get to that, is there anyone who has a family that they would like to acknowledge?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
I don't know if we did this last week, but I do want to have a moment of silence and prayer for Ardell Schultz, which is Phil Schultz's wife, who was a philanthropist. And I do want, because they're big in our community and what they do and are a deep part of it. So I want a moment of silence for him and his family as they grieve his beloved wife.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Winfrey Carter.
And I would like a moment of silence for the family of Judith Chick Nolden. She is the mother, or was the mother of the late Bryant Nolden. So if we could please have a moment of silent prayer for her family. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in Third Ward.
I'd like to ask for a special prayer for Donna Jones. She lost her daughter first, and then now she lost her granddaughter to a car accident, which was her daughter's child, and her name was Tania Sains. Pray for that family and keep them in your prayers.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, seeing as how there's no one else, Councilman in the Ninth Ward, would you please lead us in prayer?
Lord, our prayer for this meeting, for this city, for this state, for this country, for your people everywhere, is that you would bless us and keep us, that you would make your face to shine upon us, that you would be gracious unto us, that you would lift your countenance upon us and grant us peace. This I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that. It's now time for the reading of the disorderly person city code subsection. Any person that persists in disrupting this meeting will be in violation of Flint City Code Section 31-10, disorderly conduct, assault and battery, and disorderly persons, and will be subject to arrest for a misdemeanor. Any person who prevents the peaceful and orderly conduct of any meeting will be given one warning. If they persist in disrupting this meeting, that individual will be subject to arrest. Violators will be removed from the meetings. Are there any requests for agenda changes and/or additions? Seeing as how there are no requests for agenda changes and/or additions, we will move on to our public hearing, which is resolution number 260001.6. It's public hearing ordinance. I already gave the ordinance number, and it is the Flint City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 46, Utilities, Water Disposal Regulations. Before we get to our public hearing, Madam Attorney, is there anything that you would like to add?
Thank you to the council. This is a date and time set for the public hearing. This was a request made by Eagle for the city to amend its ordinances and to have comment from the public.
Thank you very much. It is now time for the public hearing. Anyone who wishes to speak on the public hearing item is able to come up and speak, making sure that we only stick to the public hearing at this time. Is there anyone who wishes to speak?
Hello, I'm Mario Mitchell. I'm speaking on the Eagle situation in Flint. I lived at 3512 Mildred Street, and I had for 15 years I was there, and it was a leak in my basement for 15 years, and Eagle come along and told somebody, get the fella out of the house. And I didn't, and that's why I live at 759 Linden Street right now. But in the meanwhile, I was gonna tear the house down and build a brand new one. I don't know how Eagle knew that, but they didn't want me to do that, but because like they're talking about property tax and stuff, seems like every time people's in Flint get ready to do something, like in 2020.
RL.
And that's when
RL, stick to the public hearing.
Like I said, about Eagles.
Yes, sir.
That plumbing stuff.
There you go.
And that, like I said, I got the biggest water bill in Flint, but he don't want to address that. That's why it took me out of the house and tore my house down. Time I got and told me to leave everything I own in there because of black mold. But the house I got is bigger and better than the one I had before. But anyway, I want money up front so I can see what I can do with money on my own. Don't be like no puppet like the mayor downstairs. Like he can't have no say so over the Flint police, Green, dealing with these killers, killing us Flint peoples, in the outskirt people, Grand Blanc killing, and they'll negotiate with them old ISIS peoples and don't want the public to know. And William was coming in and talk up for Trump did that stuff since he was in here. Everywhere you go, the blood, a trail of tears, like them Indians in Georgia. It ended in my backyard. Well, over there in Georgia, when about 3 years old, in a trailer did. Look up the history. And now they're trying to get rid of all the. Hey, I'm gonna let somebody else talking all this junk and all this junk in America. Stay tuned, New York, and we're gonna deal with this situation. Now.
Thank you.
I just have a quick question. What exactly is it, what is going on right now? What
Right now, we're
ordinance?
doing a public hearing on,
No, I understand that. I'm saying, what is the ordinance, with the whole definition of what the ordinance is?
right, the attorney did state it at the beginning of what the public hearing was on.
I mean, I heard that part, but it seemed very short.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry to
Could
interrupt.
we
Go
repeat
ahead,
it at
please,
least?
please hold, go ahead.
This is one of the ones it's 60 pages, and I forgot to mention that I have copies here because we couldn't make, a bunch of copies. So I
There's
do have
60
a copy.
pages, you said?
Yes, so I do have a copy of the entire ordinance here. So I just want to give it to him.
So, thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak at this time for the public hearing? Seeing as how we have no more speakers regarding the public hearing, I will go ahead and close out the public hearing at 5:47 PM. It is now time for public comment. Members of the public who wish to address the city council or its committees must register before the meeting begins. A box was placed at the entrance to the council chambers for collection of registrations. No additional speakers or slips were accepted after the meeting began. Members of the public shall have no more than 3 minutes per speaker during public comment, with only one speaking opportunity per speaker. First public speaker, Madam Clerk.
First speaker is R.L. Mitchell.
I'm an R.L. Mitchell. I live at 759 East Linden Avenue. About the situation over there by Thread Lake, slum landlords gave them peoples 2 days after Christmas to get out of his property, like the Howard Estate peoples. And then when it came time to get out, they're gonna pay their bills, and they can't find him with a search warrant. So I think Madam Burns went up and told the peoples to get out because you don't know what the landlord will do. You already tried to burn them down one time before, and he rebuilt it, trying to get peoples out of there, just like they're done on Sussex on Pearson Road. Them slum landlords in Flint. That's what I'm dealing with now. That's how they got me out. Now, out of my house with all that junk in it, time somebody, and think we the people some okie dokies. And that's what Eagles better come in and do in these supermarkets with them food things. I went on the radio the other day. I bought a steak for it cost $19, but it was on sale for $4.99. But I was $2 short. I tried to use my double up. They said you can't use that with the and I said I'll be back. Keep my steak on the counter. But see, and now I'm hearing about this. It's a food desert in Flint. Talking about Reverend Crims got to have $1 billion and nobody up here to vote for him to have it, but he still got the $1.5 million. But the people's talking about 10 years to get a grocery store, and then the castle got it in 2 years. And us darkies got to have to eat too. And all that, like I say, in the popos, they're weaponizing them killers on the street that wore 2 big boots. Now they're spread out on the street. Now they killing people, and y'all act like they're killing possum and won't do nothing about it. They come up and spraying people's body. Get out from downtown. They got license to barbecue in them, and they come spraying them and coming up in here. And now, I was asleep all that time because I'm awoke now because I remember when they pulled guns on me, and I knew it was going to happen. But now, just like Woodson, in the words of Woodson, you weaponize them motherfuckers out there, then they don't get away with it. I want my leg back down with the ones. You know what?
You went off the rails a little bit there.
Like I say, freedom of speech in the United States.
You went off the rails a little bit there.
Stay tuned, New York, the new mayor of New York, and Brooklyn.
Thank
All that
you.
junk in
Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Tanya Jones.
Good evening. It's me again, Tanya Jones, advocating for opioid crisis and homeless. And now I'm advocating that we all need to vote. Make sure we vote. I wouldn't recommend, I've been coming here long enough to say Candace Machette don't need to be a president, vice president, or even be on the city council. That's just my opinion. I could go into more details, but I think I'll wait till I get on my Facebook page and I wouldn't have to be put out or anything behind it. But we have to deal with people that care about the people, like in the 9th Ward, and Dennis, Tanya Burns, right here, Miss Jerry, and what we need to do is vote for the president so we can just go ahead and move on, because I come down here, I gotta go feed the people tonight, okay? I have other things to do because y'all gonna push through whatever y'all gonna push through. Y'all gonna vote on what y'all gonna vote on. But I wanna say opioid crisis is real, homeless is real, and autism is real, so make sure y'all don't push through the hocus pocus, please. If that come back up again, the spectrum is large. People don't understand it, they don't have kids, so don't push through money for autism. You know, educate yourself more on it, and have a good night.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Stanley Wood.
Good evening. Between myself, Mari Copany, and John Baker, those two are my public health cohorts, we're here this evening to respectfully request a sponsorship, ideally a multi-member council sponsored, on a proposed resolution directing coordinated retail inspection to ensure sanitation and consumer safety. The resolution we propose is pretty straightforward. It doesn't create any new laws. It doesn't expand enforcement authority. It simply directs the coordination of the Office of Public Health in the City of Flint to work with existing food safety and sanitation laws that already appear or apply to retail establishments. Flint residents rely upon local grocery stores for food, medicine, housing, or household goods every day. They should be able to trust what they're buying and purchasing is safe, unexpired, and sold in clean containers. When the trust is broke down, it becomes a public health issue, not just a consumer complaint. Many retailers in Flint already are doing the right thing. This proposed resolution supports them by promoting consistency, education, and accountability across the board. So responsible businesses are not undercut by negligence and non-compliance. We're asking that multiple members of council support us and sponsor this. It's a public health issue. Clean, safe environment protects children, seniors, family, and even every ward in the city. We respectfully ask each council member willing to stand together on public health, consumer safety, and responsible business practices to sponsor this proposed resolution and move it forward for consideration. And basically what we're asking for is the Office of Public Health to work with the Genesee County Health Department and the Michigan Department of Agriculture. And Davina, we have some handouts I'm going to give you to hand out. And then real quickly, take about 10 seconds of silence for the homeless gentleman that was found frozen on the 6th ward. And then voting for the president and stuff, if I'm not mistaken, Councilwoman Priestley asked for that to be put off until February 5th already, so why we even tried it today, I'm not quite sure.
Did she say that?
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The next speaker is Jaquindra Brown.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening to Council. My name is Jaquindra Brown, and I am a resident of the 7th Ward. It has not even been 2 weeks since I last presented to the Council before another tragedy has struck. Alex Pretty, a 37-year-old nurse, had his life taken away by Border Patrol agents. This man was already on the ground by 6 agents, and with any means to defend himself taken away. But they still decided to shoot him 10 times. In addition to this, a 5-year-old boy, Liam Ramos, was illegally arrested by ICE agents on his way home as a twisted way to get to his father. When the Vice President was questioned about this, he responded with, J.D. Vance responded with, the agents couldn't just leave him, and quote unquote. They used a helpless child as bait. And the trend of senseless murders by ICE continues. Cruelty is the point. Council, we need to be prepared as soon as possible for when ICE operations ramp up. These cruel acts of violence did not start in Minneapolis and will not end in Minneapolis. While I do want to receive an update from the city attorney through council in regards to a potential ordinance to unmask ICE agents performing in the city, I must ask council what measures have been put forward or are being planned to put forward to ensure the safety of the people of Flint, in addition to collaborations with the mayor of the police department. We cannot wait for another senseless death before we act. The law is on our side, and we should not be afraid to use it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker is Mari Copany.
Back again to address some of the items I spoke about last week. It's cold, dangerously cold. Our unhoused community is in serious danger. I was hoping the city would have moved a little more expeditiously to find some other alternative shelter, but so far the best we have is the lobby in the sheriff's department. Thanks to an anonymous caller Friday night, tragedy was prevented, and the U of M Flint Police Department was able to find an individual in distress before they froze to death. Next, we really got to circle back to the awful food quality that these local grocery stores are providing to our community. A lot of these stores have been playing the same game for years, yet nothing is ever done to fix the situation. Back in summer, when there was a huge pushback to funding for the North Food Co-op, there was plenty of conversation about the lack of quality food that is offered to our community. But why only stop and point that issue out? These stores are putting people's lives at risk, especially young children, the elderly, and those who are immune compromised. It's bad enough the water here is still toxic. I mean, took a shower and I have a whole face rash bleeding all right here. Cancer rates are way through the roof, and this community is tired of feeling like those in charge have given up on fighting for us. Clean water and safe food are basic human rights. Please do your job.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
Next speaker is John Baker.
Good evening, how you doing? Back again, right? So I've learned a lot. Went to the health department again today after Ms. Priestley said at the end of the meeting last week, if you see something, do something. Seen something, done something. Went to the health department like you directed. Health department sent me to the Department of Agriculture. Been there before. And the circle, you know, the red tape. I've spoken to most of you before the meeting. It's hard as a citizen to just get a complaint, you know, and the chain of command that needs to be followed is so vague. I have the opportunity to take the week or the month off and just do these things. For the last 3 weeks, I've literally every day gotten up, 8 o'clock, been to all the places, health department, every morning. That's all I'm doing, and gotten nowhere. You know, I found out that there are chains. Ms. Burns is gonna help me out. You know, I have some promises from other members here, Ms. Johnson, Smushant. You know, I need, you know, we need something, you know, done. You know, we come here, I know that your power is limited, but the phone calls that I've had to make, I would think that maybe you guys could make those phone calls and it'd be a lot easier. You know, I don't know. You know, I'm getting calls from people and asking me to do things that I have no power to do. I was asked to go into the stores, to Mr. B's, then I was told not to go in. You know, I was looking for a clear path. You know, we're all looking for just directions on what to do. You know, I mean, like, we're just trying to eat. You know, people just want to eat. I'm not angry. I'm not trying to fight you guys. I've looked and did homework in the past, and I've seen how people come and scream at you and try to bring up your past and whatever you've done and whatever. I don't care. You know, I don't care about none of that. You know, I have children. You know, I came here to retire. You know, I'm a 20-year veteran. You know, I came here to retire, can't get food right in my neighborhood. Whatever needs to be done, I'm going to do. Whatever help that you want to give, I'm going to take. You know, but I'm just looking for a clear path. Just tell me what to do exactly, you know, and I'm going to do it because we're getting a runaround. I'm getting a runaround, you know, and I have the time.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
The final speaker for this meeting is Darrell Brown.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Darrell Brown. I'm a resident of 7th Ward City Council. 7th Ward, speaking it into existence. Why am I running? Because I am. I'm running for the 7th Ward
Excuse
City
me,
Council.
sir. I don't mean to cut you off, but we can't campaign. You can't campaign from the podium, and we can't campaign from up here.
Okay, well, let me break it down in a different way then. I'll say this. I hear everybody and what y'all going through. I'm willing to listen to all the concerns of what's going on and help y'all out. Whatever needs to be done, I'm willing to do that. We need to work together, band together. I have a son too. I definitely understand the needs of the people. I've been down and out myself. I know how it feels to be left behind, 100%. And that's each and every single one of y'all. I understand, and I do feel it. And I'm gonna do the best that I can to help each and every single one of you out.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
That's what I'll say.
Sir.
That's all I got for everybody.
Thank you. Next public speaker, Madam Clerk.
That was the last speaker.
Thank you. Seeing as how that was the last public speaker, it is now time for council response. Council members may respond once to all public speakers, only after all speakers have spoken. An individual council member's response shall be limited to 2 minutes. Is there anyone, councilman in the 8th Ward?
Yep. A couple of things. Mr. Wood, I hear you. I do. The Office of Public Health is a made-up department. It has zero authority. Them doing anything with anybody has the same effectiveness as a normal resident. Like, they have zero authority. So I won't support or put together anything because they have literally zero responsibility or authority to do with that. As far as the Genesee County Health Department and or the state are the only ones that can help with any of that stuff. As far as the city is concerned, I'm not even sure that the clerk permits any of those businesses. I think that if you're not getting assistance through the Genesee County Health Department, I think then maybe we can reach out to the Board of Commissioners, but unless it's a building code violation, zoning, and like I said, I'm not even sure the clerk does it. The city has zero authority of these folks. And the gentleman, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, but the city council, you will not see a resolution about demasking any federal agents. You just won't, because we don't have the authority. There's a reason why no other municipality has ever, they may have passed a resolution or an ordinance, but they can't enforce it. And I'm not interested in doing anything. None of our officers are going to arrest a federal agent, I promise you that. So there's no enforcement, so it'd be a moot point to pass a resolution that means absolutely nothing because we have zero authority over the federal agents. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response? Councilwoman in the 4th Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Pfeiffer, for addressing what I was going to say. But also, in regards to the county Department of Health, they regulate restaurants. They don't regulate grocery stores. Only the state Department of Agriculture does that. And I'd be glad to sign on to anything that asks them for investigation on any issues, because it is important that our residents are able to purchase good quality food. Our public health navigators, they aren't trained in that kind of instances. They have no idea. Their job is to help residents get water filters. They help them with turn off and shut off notices and things like that. Anything in regards to actual public health as we think of it, they don't have, I don't even think they have the training to do that. So I also agree with Mr. Pfeiffer regarding the ICE agents. We have no control over the federal government. The federal government supersedes the state government, so we have nothing that we can do to that. Ms. Jones, I really do appreciate your passion for your son and the opioid crisis. As you know, I've dealt with that with my family as well as autism. Hocus Pocus did get funding from us. So that's a good thing, that at least they can go into the schools and do that. And watching the kids light up as they go through the magic was just amazing, because they remembered and they interacted, and that was great. And I think that was all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
Thank you. We only get 2 minutes, so we aren't able to respond to everything. But I want to say the homeless, when we speak about the homeless population, Color of Law has done a lot of things, and the ladies and the one gentleman, so they feed the homeless hot meals because they cannot cook because they're homeless. And a lot of people don't get that, or they'll give them canned goods, and they can't use canned goods because they don't have pots, pans, or something to cook on it, to cook on. So I do want to say, for the Color of Law, I appreciate working with you wonderful people. I admire you. And it's a grassroots with some wonderful people who sat at a table and said, let's all do this together. And I appreciate that, because that's what we need. As far as the food, everyone deserves safe food. There are grocery stores that I have never eaten out of and never will. Mm-hmm. I said, and we need to quit pretending like we don't know who they are. And so one of them, you do have to go to the state. And I spoke with you. It is for the food safety, the state agriculture department, and I'll give that to you. But if you want to speak and bring awareness at every level of government of the county, I will speak with you to bring awareness, because they're in our city. Some of the food has been expired weeks. I had someone bought pancake mix. It expired 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And they were like, well, it's a dry. No, you don't need that. So that to me is serious. And a lot of people it's not the turnover. When you speak about Mr. B's used to be totally different in the 70s. I used to go to my grandmother, not the same. They even had grocery carryout. And there are issues, and a lot of these grocery stores even lack cleanliness, some of them. But go to the North Flint Food Market, that is on the north side.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Winfrey Carter.
I would like to first thank all of the residents for being here, and thank you for being engaged in the process. I want to piggyback off of what Councilwoman Burns have said about the food sanitation and the expiration dates of the different food and things at these different grocery stores. But I do think, Mr. Brown, I think you might want to write a letter to the Attorney General or Mr. Baker, I'm sorry, the Attorney General, as well as reach out to the Genesee County Health Department. I heard what Councilwoman Priestley said, but it wouldn't hurt to reach out to them. Maybe go to a county commissioners meeting and put it on the table, on the record, so that they'll know and be aware of what's going on. But if you need help with that letter to the Attorney General, I've written a couple of letters to the Attorney General, so I can help you with that. And, you know, we can get that going as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during council response? Seeing as how there's no one else who wishes to speak during council response, I will go ahead and take my time. I do agree with the young man that's come up here for the last couple of weeks about the fact that we see what is happening around the country. And one of the things that we can be very clear on is that just because you do not see it on that same scale here does not mean you will not see it on that same scale here. While there are not necessarily things that we can do as far as having actual legal authority, I think that there are measures that we can take to have symbolic authority. And the fact that we can say that we do not want people coming into our community and stripping and taking away the rights and not going through due process. We can say that. We can issue a resolution saying we do not stand with that kind of behavior here in the city of Flint. So there is something that we can do as far as taking a stand, because we do have a lot of immigrants in our community who have been a part of our community, who have helped build our community, who continue to help build our community, and they do need our voices right now. So we can do something, even if it's just simply take a stand and say, we do not, we don't like that behavior, we don't stand with that kind of behavior, and we are against that behavior. So you are correct. Mr. Baker, you and I will catch you after this, because I know that I've got some direction for you to take, and so I only have like 30 seconds left, and it's gonna take a little bit more than that. So, all right, and then Mari, good job as always. I'm waiting on you. Let me know. I'm waiting. All right, and with that, that is the end of my time. It is now time for the consent agenda. What is the pleasure of the body?
Excuse me, through the chair.
Oh.
I did just want to.
Did I skip something?
Well, no, I just wanted to piggyback on what you all said about the food safety.
Mm-hmm.
And while the Public Health Office does provide a variety of services to the community, as Councilperson Pfeiffer said, they do not have authority to enforce food safety measures. However, under the state, the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development, they call it MDARD for short. There is an 800 number. There is also an email address that can be provided so that these complaints can be made and followed up on. The state has the exclusive authority to enforce food safety measures.
All right, thank you. It is now time for the consent agenda. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Priestley.
Motion to approve.
There's a motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there support? It's been moved and properly supported by the councilman in the 8th Ward. Are there separations? I do have one. And it was at the request of a member of the administration. They wanted to clarify a question that they answered, clarify an answer that was given to our colleague in the Ninth Ward. That's Resolution 260027. It's the Dewatering Solutions Leak Detection Survey Program for the Water Service Center. Seeing as how there are no more separations, we will go ahead and vote to approve the consent agenda. Roll call, Madam Clerk. We're including the minutes and everything in the consent agenda.
That's correct. Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
Would you please repeat that?
7 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no. Moving on to our one and only separation. That is Resolution 260027. What is the pleasure of the body?
Madam Chair.
There's a motion to approve by the councilman in the 8th Ward. Is there support? Moved and properly supported by the councilwoman in the 4th Ward. Is there discussion? Councilman in the 9th Ward, if I may have the latitude to give you the floor. I do believe that there is someone who would like to speak to this resolution.
That is about the water meters and the
Leak detection.
Yeah, we haven't had that done since Rob Benzer.
No, we get it done every 2 years. He's got to correct the fact that we do.
That we do?
Correct. And then he can explain why the company that was cheaper.
We're supposed to, but it wasn't done.
260027. And Councilman Pfeiffer does, Councilman Jarrett does have the floor. Reintroduce yourself.
Reintroduce yourself. Thank you.
My name is Howard Hudson, Supervisor for the Water Service Center.
Okay. Go ahead and make the clarification that you wanted to make.
So last week, I told you that I didn't think we had done leak detection in the city before, and I was incorrect. It was done in 2015 and then every other year after that.
Okay.
So it's been done by American Leak Detection, and the current Xylem Wax had done it in 2015, and then American Leak Detection had done it thereafter.
Okay. When we spoke last week, we were also asking about sort of a guesstimate as to what an occurrence might cost when we have a disruption and, pipes burst or what have you. Have you any educated guess or estimate as to what some of those costs might look like because what I'm trying to understand is for the $190 or so thousand, what that's in my mind, this is somewhat of an insurance policy. In my mind, if we can detect some things before they happen, when we've had instances or occurrences, what have been those costs to try to get an idea as to how this might help us to stay ahead of the curve?
So when you asked that question last week, I went back and I dug up some stuff, and I talked to a couple contractors to get their side of it too. And from what I can tell, the average, minimal damage leak is $7,000 to $10,000 if we're repairing it there at the Water Service Center. If we hire a contractor to do it, it can vary depending on the time of year, the time, if it's an emergency, a call out at night or whatnot. And it was anywhere from $12,000 to $20,000, $25,000 is what I came up with. And I got some quotes here. I can email them to the council.
Do we have any such leaks or repairs taking place currently?
Yeah, I got all my guys been out all day on leaks.
How many different locations or sites or situations?
Today alone?
Yeah.
We had 5 today that
Okay.
I can think of just off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more than that.
And if I'm understanding correctly, what's being proposed by way of these surveys helps us to potentially stay ahead of these leaks or catch them before they blow out into something that costs us more money.
Potentially, that's what it's going to do. I mean, we'd like to catch it when it's a small leak, you know.
Right.
If it's just a 100-year-old pipe and the top of it's come off, there's not a whole lot we can do about that.
Mm-hmm.
But if there's a crack in the pipe or a small hole in the pipe, this leak detection will pick that up. If there's a pipe broken inside of a storm drain or leaking into a sewer main, it'll pick that up.
Okay, thank you. I think I'm done. I yield.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like the floor? Councilman Pfeiffer.
So, let me get this straight. They are only, I guess, can you give me an overview of how they detect leaks, if they're visible? Like, how are they, is there some kind of equipment that they're looking, or that they use, some kind of sonar or x-ray type of stuff? How are they finding these?
No, it's audible. It's noises in the ground. They have special equipment, headsets with special detection devices that.
So they
can pick
scan
up-
the whole city, or how are they, like, are we telling them to go and scan this road, or how are?
No, they walk the city. Well, they also have collators that they place on valves and hydrants throughout the city, and they'll take the information that those collators collect, and they'll put it in their computer, and it'll give them a reading of how the pipes are, if they're leaking, or if they can tell the flow of the water in that area, and if it's fluctuates a lot, then they can go back and then they'll scan that area with their sonar or their audible system, and it'll tell them if
Is there a verifiable proof that their system works?
Yes, I have some of the old reports from WACS and from American Leak Detection with me, and I can email them to you if you like. But
Well, I would just like to know how they get from point A to point B, meaning how are they taking their devices and, getting that information to us, and then, or do we do anything with that information? Do we go out and actually proactively dig up a spot?
Absolutely.
So
They give us full reports and detailed with photographs, with all the information, the coordinates, and the addresses, and we go out there and they mark it, they paint it blue on the ground, so it's clear.
Okay, and by doing that, what is the cost savings versus, I don't want to say that we, don't fix it, but what is the cost savings of having something proactive versus emergency?
Well, I mean, being proactive is always better than being, emergency response team. You catch it when it's small.
So what define? Let me circle back to that, because, there was a leak in front of my neighbor's house, and it spewed out for 3 weeks after I reported it, before somebody could come out. So what determines an emergency versus let it go and we'll get to it when we get to it?
Well, I guess the size of the leak, people affected by the leak, the number of people affected by the leak, hospitals, are they affected by the leak, clinics, dialysis centers, things of that nature, I would say that it's a case-by-case basis on the leaks, but, as well as I do, if we have a leak on Saginaw Street blowing bricks, all over the place, that's gonna take priority.
I totally understand. I'm not questioning. I just want to make sure that if we're utilizing this service, I would hope that there was gonna be some kind of ROI on it where we can have and say that, you know, by spending this 150,000, whatever the exact dollar amount of this is, that we can justifiably say, spending this 150 saved us 1.2, something like that. Like, how do we get to determine and if there's a quantifiable ROI on using this service?
Well, I'm quite sure there's leaks out there right now that we have no idea about.
Right.
And that we cannot find, or nobody's thought to look in those places. I don't know. I know in my past experience that when WOCs come down and we hired them to do leak detection, they found a lot of leaks that we had no idea about. And the water loss alone was tremendous. So we're paying for that water.
Yeah, I know, we are. So just to wrap this up real quick, are we so if they go out and scan and do this, are we using are we sending them any kind of as-built, or are they sending us any kind of as-built to say, hey, I detected a water line here. I'm not sure if you knew that the water line was here, but it's 10 feet off of the road or something like that.
Yeah, well, the maps we have, they'll have copies of them. And
And they're verifying that those maps are correct?
Well, actually, our city works
Dennis, you
has
can't keep
verified
asking
those.
questions. You just gotta let him answer.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman Burns.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
A couple of quick questions. So I'm going to read this. The City of Flint Water Department performs leak detection services every other year, but going forward will provide yearly. City of Flint Water Department staff have neither the expertise nor equipment to perform this service. The request was put out to bid, and is it Watches? Watts, W-C-H-S?
Yeah.
Was the sole bidder. We last used this vendor in 2015 for valve exercising with no issues, and will evaluate once the project is complete. So a couple questions. Who was the last company that we used? You've got some invoices there.
Yeah, American Leak Detection,
And what year is on that invoice?
2023, but they was actually 2025 was the last time, or 2025 was the last time.
Is there a reason why you don't have 2025's invoice, or
I couldn't find one.
how much is on that invoice?
It's not really an invoice, it's more like a leak that they discovered.
So they were paid for services though, right?
Yes.
They don't, do you know how much they were paid?
For that, the last one was $154,000.
And that was 2023?
That was for a one-year contract, yeah.
Okay, so,
Or 2025,
20,
I think was when they was last year.
okay. So 23 or 25?
I'm fuzzy on that. I really don't know
Okay.
if it was 23 or 25.
Because I know this is, getting
'Cause I was
it leak
told it was
detected
25.
is a really good thing. I'm in support of this, but I just wanted to narrow a couple things down. So
Okay.
you have two invoices, was that correct?
Yeah.
What's the other?
Well, not invoices, they're leaks.
Leaks. Okay, but we paid for those services, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so how much was the other one? Were they
This, in 2015?
2015? Is that one 2015?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, we know it's considerably higher now. Is there a price on what it was in 2015 so we can gauge the difference in pricing?
No, I have no idea what it would be in 2015.
Okay. And so you have 2015 and 2023 documents in front of you.
Yes, ma'am.
When they did the last leak detection, what was the percentage of leaks? What's the percentage of leaks that they're saying that we have in our system? Was it 50%, 40, 60?
They never said what percentage we had. Did I
Request
know
for
of?
information.
What's your request?
I think you want to ask the total number of leaks that they found,
Yeah,
not
I
the
was gonna-
percentage?
I was getting to that,
Okay.
but that one too. See? So how much out of our system that are we losing? What percentage of our water are we losing to leaks?
Well, it says, I got it right here on this.
I would love to have a copy.
I can email it to you.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I'll scan
Because I
it
think
in
this is
and
important.
Email it to you first thing in the morning. I'll email it to all of you.
That would be great. I think you probably have to go through the clerk and then.
I will.
Okay. And so I would like to have
So it says 345,000 gallons per month
Okay,
is on this, is
Okay.
what they're, and 4,204,000 gallons a year
and I know, and
is
that's
what
why.
they found.
And so I know when we're looking at what percentage, then also, we have, when our water main breaks, we average about 250 per year. Is that low now?
That's a low number, maybe.
Is it,
but-
it used to be, in 2021, I believe it was about 250, which was just an average. How many did we have last year? It seemed a
I was
lot
just gonna
last
say,
year.
last winter was over 300, just in like
Yeah.
December, January, February.
Yeah, and our infrastructure is old.
It's
If
very
you
old.
could, yeah. And so Dennis's question was, and Dennis, I'm sorry, because you kind of threw me off. Did you hear what he said?
He asked for the number, the total number of leaks.
Yeah.
That they found,
Yes.
and I have no idea what that total number would be.
It's not on the papers that you're going to?
No, it's not.
Okay. Okay. If you can get those to us, I would appreciate.
But I would love to email this stuff to you and get that line of
Yeah, and I like to
communication
read, and I
open.
know they like to read.
Okay.
They read.
Yeah, I'll do it first thing in the morning.
See, look, they even smiled, those two, 9 and 8 down there.
Yeah.
So if you could send that, because I like to read too, because I know that what we average in the percentage, and this is actually good for the city, to get control over it. And also, do you know when they're gonna start on replacing that dual line? Because there's leaks there too, and they couldn't, with the sewer line, do you know when they're gonna, that's my time. Thank you.
Sorry.
Is there anyone else who would like the floor in the first round of discussion?
Madam Chair,
Councilwoman in the fourth ward.
you know, it's important to get those leaks under control. We all know that. It costs us more money, and hopefully that could help us save some money we had a discussion item Wednesday on possibility of having to raise our water rates. So having those, especially when you said that the big leak that happened over by Starlight was there. And I got a report today of a leak on, all right, but didn't know if it was sewer or you, but it's at 2121 Kansas. So it's covering 3 different homes. And so that needs to be taken a look at. But, the water leaks we have to get those under control. And I know that we have an aging infrastructure. I actually, when I was elected for council, my idea of using the ARPA money was for infrastructure, not for all the stuff that we ended up doing. I felt that would be a more long-term beneficial result for the city. Unfortunately, that's not what the residents wanted, and I followed what the residents wanted to the most extent. So I appreciate all your information that you bring forward to us, and I look forward to reading the information that you will be sending us tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the first round of discussion? Is there anyone in the second round of discussion? Councilman Pfeiffer.
So, real quick, so we know what a baseline is of what we're getting from Detroit, right? How many gallons we're getting from Detroit? Is there any way that we can get a report of how many gallons we're getting from Detroit versus what we're billing, so we can see what?
Sure,
because that's gonna show us.
That should be easy.
That's gonna show us exactly what our net loss is, whether that be leaks or what other than.
Point of information.
If we're.
What's your point?
Fire department would be
Yeah,
That's my point.
we have other vehicles that use water in the city
We can
too.
please
That
start.
was what other stuff besides what municipal use, if we're opening and flushing hydrants, that type of stuff. Is there any way that we can determine that versus what we're truly losing in leaks? Is there?
Yeah, absolutely, there's a way to do that. We can calculate the number of gallons we use when we flush a hydrant.
Okay.
We can, the fire department would have to get on board with us and help us, because I know
Well,
they
we
use the
can
hydrants
absolutely
too.
mandate for that. So my point is, if we say that, okay, we have 1 million gallons of water that we know that we're losing somewhere, that's a baseline of sending this company to say, your goal is to find me, 1 million gallons of leaks, and that should be, I think that's how we should be able to work backwards to see actually how much we're losing and utilize this company instead of on a wild goose chase of saying, okay, you know, we're not necessarily looking for the small pinholes, we're losing 2 million gallons, help me out.
A significant amount. Yeah.
Right. So if we can find that delta of what we're billing versus that of what we're getting from Detroit, and then whatever we need to do to work with the fire hydrant or the fire department or the water, whatever that's not metered, let us know how we can help that and put any kind of policy or work with the administration to put any kind of policy to get you that paperwork to estimate that, so we can truly figure out what we are losing as a city to, I'm gonna say the Mother Earth
Right.
that's going back.
The vac trucks we have there at our department, in the sewer and the water departments, they use 1,500 gallons at a time.
Okay.
And when they're jetting these sewer mains, it's consuming water. Contractors have to run off a meter, and I'd like to get a little bit
So
tighter
can
control
we
over
run
that.
our stuff off of a meter and just have it not billable?
We could.
Okay.
We don't, but we could do that. I like to keep a tally of how many times that driver filled up that truck that day, because I know it's 1,500 gallons every time he fills it up.
Yeah, I would prefer
So
if
I
it
could-
went to our system versus on a spreadsheet, and like, is there a better way to track it per se? So whatever works, but I would like to know what our true estimated guess on that loss is.
I'd like to know that too.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else in the second round?
Madam Chair.
Councilwoman in the 6th Ward.
What is your last name again?
Hudson,
Miss-
Hudson.
Like Hudson the vehicles, okay. Like Hudson the department store.
Yes,
So-
like the old Hudson's out
That's
there
right.
in Genesee Valley.
So with the with the Badger meter system, is it Badger that we did pay was it 9 million for?
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
paid free and clear out of our wind funds. That system is supposed to have the capacity to measure that.
Measure.
Measure leak detection, water loss, also,
Yes.
you say yes? Yes, I know.
But it only measure it in the house.
Okay,
So it won't measure what's going through the mains,
so,
but in the houses.
right, and so here, and we can do some calculations for that. Now, my other question is, I know what that system, they call the system the Cadillac of a system. I know some of they don't like it.
You're right.
I know, you don't like it, but here's the thing.
No, I'm not one of the ones that don't like
Okay.
Badger.
So
I'm
here's
not.
the thing.
Let's just clarify that right now.
Okay, so do you like the system? Do you know how to work it?
I am very familiar with Badger.
Do you
The
like
city
it?
I came from in Texas, that's what we used was Badger.
In Galveston?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And so my question is, because when I'm looking at it, it says none of our people are trained, neither have the expertise to perform any equipment. Have we ever thought about bringing in from the Badger company to get to be trained on it, on the system?
On leak detection?
That whole system does a lot.
I don't know that Badger actually does leak detection like on mains.
Well, I'm talking about also with measuring. So
I can talk to Badger. I got a good rapport with them, and I'm sure if
their
they
guy
have
will come,
something
he
to
will
offer
actually
us.
come and talk to us. I
Pardon-
had spoken
pardon me?
to him a couple months ago.
Mark?
I believe I forget his name. I spoke to him a couple months ago.
Okay.
But,
I can reach out to them and talk to them and see what
Yeah.
they have to offer us.
But-
I am very proactive. I am not a good reactive person. I do not like reacting like a fireman. I am a very proactive person. I like to build a good system and maintain it.
did you like the Badger system in
I
Galveston?
loved it. I thought it was the best thing that we ever had.
Are we utilizing it here the way we should?
We're starting to.
I appreciate your honesty and candor.
I'm pushing the Badger down the meter tech's throats right now. I'm telling them that's the way it is, and we're not changing. And even though you guys approved that money for Mitron,
You know, the Badger guy, I reached
I'm not
out to,
spending
and
it.
I'll talk to you afterwards, because that's gonna be my time. Thank
Okay.
you, Mr. Hudson.
Is that it?
Is there anyone else in the second round of discussion? Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll now do the roll call vote to approve 260027, which is the Dewatering Solutions Leak Detection Survey Program Water Service Center. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
Motion to adjourn.
There's a motion to adjourn by the councilman in the 8th ward, supported by the councilwoman in the 4th ward. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Burns?
Yes.
Ms. Mashat?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeiffer?
Yes.
Mr. Jarrett?
Yes.
Ms. Johnson?
Yes.
Ms. Priestley?
Yes.
Ms. Winfrey Carter?
Yes.
Vote is 7 yes, 0 no.
The vote is 7 yes, 0 no. The time is 6:41 p.m. on Monday, January 26th. I hereby adjourn this council meeting.
You hit that damn thing so hard. She's